right. The little red numbers are rolling. My little vibrating volume thingy is going up, and I think Mouse's was too. Yeah, his goes up. Okay.
Your little vibrating thing is going up?
Volume thingy. Volume thingy.
Aha.
I said volume. I knew what I was saying.
Clearly, this is going to be a very fun episode.
Yeah, so he says. It's actually possibly going to be a very short episode because it was a scant week. I struggled to find anything worth
Talking about
talking about.
it was clearly the week that goes, okay, we're getting close to the end of the summer. We don't really have anything good going on because we're saving everything for the freaking fall. So you motherfuckers gonna have to just deal with it. Basic. That was basically what the week said to
It's the
us.
post E3 milieu.
No, it's the post E3 ennui.
Ennui, sorry.
Ennui. Oui, c'était parce que qu'on était fatigué, c'est la nuit.
So, all I've been doing for the past, well, not even for the past week, is mostly for the past couple days, is I've been playing Saints Row 3 in casual mode and just pretty much kicking its ass because casual mode's easy. But that's the way I like playing my games because I'm a cheater and I enjoy that.
Oh,
But
Saints
now,
Row is fun.
well, Saints Row was fun. Yes, I'm enjoying it a great deal. I'm like I said, I'm kicking its ass because I don't feel like playing it for a challenge. I feel like playing it for story, such as it is. You know, the epic struggle of getting more bitches and hoes,
Bude.
more booty.
Drew? Drew?
Yes,
Are you there?
I'm here. You're not
Oh,
apparently.
okay.
There you are.
For some reason, I couldn't hear you for a second.
That would.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. I blame you. I'm just sitting here playing with my scissors.
Vibrating thing? You're sitting there playing with your vibrating thing.
I was playing with my scissors.
Ah, yes, that's what. Yeah, okay.
Right. So what did
well,
you
we're
do
going to
this
ask.
week? Because we're going to go out of order and talk about a thing you did.
Yes, well, I have been playing a shit ton of Starbound. I have created an underwater crystal palace, but I also went and watched Ghostbusters last night at 10 p.m. Came out at 12:20. This is where I give my review.
Yes, this would be where you give your review.
All
So
right,
how did you
so
enjoy it? Or did you enjoy it?
actually, I was very, very wary about many things coming in, namely the horrible single and the trailers that have not been incredibly complimentary to the movie. So going in, I would say that overall, I have two ratings. Overall, I would say that the plot earns a C from me. I felt that the pace never really settled into a comfortable rhythm. I felt the beginning felt a lot very rushed, especially, and you can't avoid this when you compare it to the beginning of the first movie, which had a very nice build up in its pace. Um, but many times it felt too frenetic, as if it was trying to do many things. The plot has a lot of issues of design by committee, and this is not something that should surprise anyone. This is modern Sony. We have seen that Sony does this. However, with all of that being said, I give the cast, the ensemble, as a snooty Frenchman would say, a B plus. Melissa McCarthy as Abby, Kristen Wiig as Aaron Gilbert, Kate McKinnon as Holtzman, and Leslie Jones as Patty Tolan. They really had a good chemistry going on. It was actually very, very enjoyable seeing them interact. There was a sense of camaraderie coming in. Um, the only thing that I had issues with is that the dialogue is not as sharp as it could be, and I think that this is part of the design by committee thing. I feel that the actresses were not given as much room to ad lib as the original actors did, and that's one of the things that gave the original movie a lot of its own little character. Um,
So would you say they basically did as well as they could with what they were given?
Yes, and here's the thing. It has the basis for a good franchise moving on, provided, and this is a very big if, provided that Sony lets the creative talent breathe and backs the fuck off, because I can clearly see how they could just Spider-Man this to death. They need to let the actresses. These are actresses who are known for their improv. That they are known for being quick on their feet with dialogue. Let them improvise. Give them the same privileges that Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd were given. Sure, that led to some scenes that had to be cut out that didn't work at all. Like, the very awkward Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray as bums. I don't know if you've ever seen that takeout. But a lot of things worked, which really gave the movie its flavor. And that is missing here. And I know that these ladies are funny. They're pretty damn funny, and they can do it. Although I do say that Kate McKinnon as Holtzman, she probably was my favorite. She had this kind of awkward, geeky vibe, socially awkward geeky vibe that I enjoyed. She actually reminds me of of a friend I had, Rebecca, who was kind of the same type, techie type, and she reminds me a lot of her.
A lot of the reviews I've seen have basically said yes, that she is like the standout. And in fact, like Angry Joe had a comment that he felt that they should have made this a legitimate sequel to the original, and in fact, Holtzman could have been the daughter of Spengler and Janine.
That's hilarious, because I was thinking that. Actually, as I was coming out, this would have stood better as a sequel with Holtzman being Egon Spengler's daughter. And that way, there are nods to the cast. Like Sigourney Weaver has a very goddamn funny cameo. I loved her cameo. But there's also a bust of Harold Ramis in a university. So, it just feels, and then Bill Murray appears, and Dan Aykroyd appears, and of course everybody else really appears except for Rick Moranis. Annie Potts has a funny 1 second, like 2 second cameo, but I really think it would have been better as a sequel, because then it's more of a legacy kind of thing, instead of we have to establish these characters as the only Ghostbusters who have ever been here, and everybody else just needs to forget about
it's a neutralization of the original movie.
Mm-hmm. And, I do not think that the characters would have been diminished if this had been a sequel, which was a concern. But on top of everything, we know the reason why this was a reboot, because Ghostbusters 3 has languished in development hell for so long, and Sony apparently had so many issues with it that they decided that it would be easier to start tabula rasa, just erase everything and start from the beginning. Which I can understand the allure of doing that if you have been dealing for 15 years with a sequel that's just not happening. But, I think it would have been, have Janine as the widow Spengler. Have her be the one who funds these ladies. In memory of her husband, her daughter, their daughter, wanting to take on the reins of the family, and being a brilliant scientist. She really is the standout of the crew.
Well, and again, to borrow from the Angry Joe review, one of the things that they had proposed was, again, this be a true legitimate sequel with Holtzman being the daughter of Spengler and Janine, and they said something like, Ghostbusters, there are franchises throughout the world, but the new threat neutralizes all of those franchises, and in fact, it has something to do with the new technology they're using, and it renders all the new technology non-functional. And so these girls have to literally go back and pull out the old packs, and because they are connected to the original line, that's why they have access to the old packs, and that's why they're the ones who come out and are kicking butt.
Yeah, I think that would have been better, but this is the movie that we got. I wouldn't say it was great. I wouldn't say it was good. I think it was okay because of the issues with the plot. The cast, though, I say was the best thing about it, and Chris Hemsworth as a himbo. The secretary. there were moments where he was kind of annoying, but that was intentional with the character, so it works. He's pretty and annoying, and kind of.
It's sometimes pretty annoying.
Well, no. Sometimes makes you wonder what are you doing in the world? You need to be in an institution where someone can take care of you because you can't survive. Um,
He's the
he's
pet. We need to take him out somewhere.
he is very much the pet. Like the ladies only like mostly hire him because he's pretty, which I found that hilarious. And yeah, so let's see what happens with the sequels. Oh, one thing that I do want to address is that Leslie Jones' character Patty. I found her pretty funny. I liked her a lot, and the trailers completely misrepresented what the character was like. I was expecting, I was fearing a lot of the Black Token character, but it turns out it does turn out that the character is in fact pretty smart. She is street smart as well, but she is not like the walking stereotype that I was fearing the trailers made her look like. And that's another thing. The trailers were cut very, very poorly. I don't think that the trailers really reflected what this movie was like. Like I said, it's an okay movie. It's not a movie that deserves to be hated. It's also not a movie that deserves to be praised to high heaven. It's an okay beginning, and it can get better. But the trailers, I think, I can't blame the people outside of people who were, the sexist assholes who were like, oh, women, whatever. I can't blame the people who had genuine reservations about this movie, and in some cases, those reservations proved to be true. In that it felt a lot of design by committee was applied, but the ladies themselves were good. So hopefully, I hope Sony is listening to someone and just let them breathe and let them actually inhabit their characters more. Let them depart from script a little bit. I know that Sony is not very fond of doing that nowadays, but you have comedic talent known for improv in your movie. Give them a little bit of a wider berth. And
There
that
you
is my
go.
impression of the Ghostbusters.
Scale of 1 to 5.
I would put it no wait. Can I make it 1 to 10?
No, you give it half points though.
No? Okay. God damn it, Drew. All
Give
right,
it a half point if you gotta give it a half point.
okay, no, from 1 to 5 I can put it somewhere in like 3.5.
Okay, there you go. All right, now moving on to our normal retinue of topics.
Retenue.
Let's get the little thing to go. There we go. Bounce your first up topic.
My first topic. Okay, so we know that Sega has had some bad luck with Sonic games in the past few years. Mostly, they seem very keen to reinvent the wheel, trying to give new spin to the Sonic games, and mechanically and story-wise, it has been a failure. Especially with the most recent one. Which one was it? With the Sonic with the bandages, that was just bad. Sonic Boom was it?
I'm
There's
assuming Sonic Boom is the next one coming up because that's everything I looked for told me it was.
or well, whatever. The one that
Sonic
has
Boom Fire and Ice is supposed to be the 2017 version.
okay, whatever game was, I've even forgotten the name. It was so freaking bad.
It could have
The
been
one,
Sonic Boom itself. I have no idea. I haven't played a Sonic game since the original.
the one with Lyric as the villain. It was pretty bad. However, Sony seems to have finally gotten the clue. Probably, I mean Sega. I was still back in
Whoever
the.
they are, somebody got a clue.
Sega finally got the clue, probably because they saw that hedgehog was dying. Um,
Well,
so
after 20 some years, I think
yeah,
the hedgehog would be dead.
so it's a very long-lived hedgehog. However, they have confirmed a new entry in the Sonic the Hedgehog series in 2017. The Sonic Team executive Takashi Iizuka confirmed that this game is coming out for the 25th anniversary. It was confirmed during the 25th anniversary event in Tokyo. And this game, from what we have seen, and it's been some few suggestions, is going to be a 2D platformer, side view, pixel art Sonic game. In other words, they're going back to the game and to the play style that made Sonic what it was. So, and then it's going to be called no the you're talking about Fire and Ice, the one that you mentioned, right?
That's what I found.
Yeah, no, that one is coming out on September 27th.
Everything said 2017 when I looked this up, so
All right. So
I don't know. You didn't give me a link. I had to improvise.
this
All
is
you just said, new Sonic coming out. I'm like, going, okay, yeah,
this,
2017.
this is when we find out who has the research chops in this team. But in any
I
case,
beg your pardon when I have less than 5-10 minutes to find a graphic.
okay. So in any case, it looks like Sega is taking a hint from the complaints of fans over decades. It has been a very, very slow listening process. We'll see if they can recapture some of that old Sonic magic with the next game.
I'm also going to point out you're the one who actually gave me an article a couple times ago that was from like a year and a half previous. He said, "Let's do this. This is news." I'm like, "No, it's not."
I was sick at the time, okay?
Oh, yeah,
I was not in my full faculties.
Oh, okay. Well, I've only been awake since 6:30. So.
Oh, you poor baby.
Are we done?
Done with
You don't
Sonic.
even know the name of it. You're telling me.
Well, it has not been announced.
Well, then next time give me a link. Don't
This
leave
is
it up
live
to-
theater, people. No.
Yeah, don't leave it up to me to figure it out. This is what I tell you. All right, next up. This is just a thing. I'm just letting you know. For those of you who have pre-ordered, like myself, who have pre-ordered the next expansion for World of Warcraft, the pre-expansion patch is already out. For those of us who have been eagerly awaiting all the transmog enhances and dreading the changes to all of our classes. I hate my Warlock now. I hate him so badly. Yeah, so that's all in place. But as of August 9th, if you've pre-ordered, you will be able to play the Demon Hunter. That will be unlocked on August 9th. I still do not know when they're going to do the actual invasion storyline. That may or may not start August 9th. It may start a week or two later, but as anyone who is a World of Warcraft fan knows, August 30th is the actual launch of Legion. So it's got to happen sometime before then. So yeah, that's the thing. Next up,
Look it up.
Shroud of Avatar.
So, Lord British's new game, upcoming game, Shroud of the Avatar, underwent its final wipe before one of the preliminary releases. I believe it was on Thursday night. And to commemorate this event, Lord British decided to tour his land and visit his subjects. And, of course, the question was, will anyone kill Lord British? Brief background into this. Lord British actually died in Ultima Online when the character's immortality tag was not set correctly, and someone attacked him using a firewall scroll while standing on Blackthorn's ramparts. And of course, Lord British at that time went, "Haha, I'm immortal, look at me!" And he walked into the wall of flame and proceeded to die. Now, for those of you who might think, there is actually a long and established tradition of killing Lord British in every single one of his games, starting with Ultima 3. Every single Ultima, except for Ultima 8 where he didn't appear, players have constantly delighted in finding ways to kill the immortal Lord British. You're usually finding loopholes in the code, such as, for example, in one of the Ultimas, I believe one of the Ultimas, when a character is sleeping, they get traded out by a sleeping NPC, which is vulnerable. So that's one way to kill Lord British, for example. So, in any case, Lord British went out on the night of the wipe, and for the first time ever, no one actually killed him.
There weren't enough bakers with poisoned bread.
There were not enough bakers with poisoned bread. That's Ultima 9. Look it up. He actually said, "Indeed, I did. No one even attacked me at all. Took a heavy hit from some trolls that were attacking one city." This isn't, however, Lord British has been killed before on Shroud of the Avatar back in August 30th, I believe, in 2015, during one of the tests. He did have a mob of players actually attack him and kill him while he was singing the Oscar Mayer Wiener song. But for now, Lord British lives. Long live Lord British.
See, and this has always been one of those things. If I ever made a game, that would just be built in. If my character unkillable.
It was.
Every check would just say, if this person's character, unkillable.
So that's the news on Lord British and Shroud of the Avatar.
So next up, Roll20. I very much enjoy the Roll20 platform. For those who aren't familiar with it, it's a platform where you can get together with your friends and basically role play live on the internet. It's a streaming environment if you want to do that. In fact, tonight, for example, if anyone's hanging around Twitch, watch my channel. You might, in fact, see me running a Fate campaign every other Sunday night. So starting tonight, we're on technically Chapter 1 because last session was Chapter 0. So, but yeah. But anyways, Roll20 has recently announced that they have a new licensing deal with to actually put D&D 5th edition up on their platform. Most recently, Lost Mine of Phandelver, which is now available online, which has all the contents. It has pre-generated party, it has the monsters, it has the maps, it has everything up there of really just right there at your fingertips for the Dungeon Master to play. And it is $19.99. It is only usable on Roll20. It is not for download. So you can only use it on that site. But then again, the point of Roll20 is not to really have everyone gathered in your tiny little house. It's intended to be able to bring back the social aspects of role-playing and to be able to broadcast it or whatnot and share it online. Pre-orders for Storm King's Thunder is now available and should be available for play on September 6th. So they are slowly but surely adding more and more content from Wizards of the Coast. So, subsidiary of Hasbro now.
Yep.
Next up.
So, sadness befalls those who play Disney Infinity. The servers are shutting down for its Toy to Life video game over the course of the next 8 months. In an email that was sent by Disney Interactive, the company does outline the plans to end online services for Disney Infinity. Those changes go into effect about 4 days ago, I believe. They have already ended in-game purchases for the PC version of Disney Infinity 2.0 and as well as the Android Apple TV and iOS versions of the game. However, the console version of Disney Infinity will continue to operate as usual with full access to figures and playsets, but only with the exception of community content features and online multiplayers. So after September 30th, the Android, iOS, and PC versions of Disney Infinity will no longer be playable. Sadness.
I had to take their logo off because it said endless play, something possibilities, or infinite possibilities. And I'm like, ending play and finite possibilities. So, yeah.
That's sad.
I actually had an article I wanted to do a couple weeks during the episode that didn't happen. No, actually, it was an episode that did happen. I actually removed this segment. There was an artist who actually sculpted Deadpool and X-Men characters obviously they're not functional because they didn't have the programming in it, but he actually sculpted, you can find it online. They're like the 1990s, early 2000s versions of the X-Men. So Storm in like the white uniform and everything. And then Rogue in, her outfit and all that. But they were pretty cool looking, actually. If they were a thing, I probably would have bought a couple of them because they're just action figures to me.
Yep.
All right, next up, talking about things shutting down. BioWare has announced that it will be shutting down its forums. Yeah. As of August 26th, you will no longer be able to post, and as of it will remain in an archive mode for those who want to review old posts. But as of October 25th, gone. So basically, this is going to cover everything from Dragon Age to Mass Effect to everything else BioWare covers, except SWTOR. SWTOR is the only forum that will remain. because it's basically hosted elsewhere. And the reason they did this is because they said they put up the forums in order to give a place for the fans and the developers to communicate. And they said, and quite honestly, between Facebook and Reddit and everything else and all the social media, it's done better elsewhere. So there's no real point in keeping the forums. So that will be shut down officially. No posting as of August 26th and nixed as of October 25th.
I wonder.
What is it that you wonder?
I just wonder if this has greater significance underneath it all. You know me. I never trust EA at all.
Well, considering they have to have at least another year worth of life, considering they're coming out with another storyline for the next year of SWTOR. So
yeah, I just wonder sometimes. You know me.
I know your suspicion of EA, all things EA.
They oh come on. EA is one of those companies that if it were a person, it would be a serial killer with a collection of heads in its refrigerator.
Okay, well, speaking of evil empires, let's move on to your next evil
Yes!
empire.
See, you see how wonderfully I segued into that?
Yes.
Gracefully. So speaking of evil empires, although Pokemon hasn't been officially released in Russia yet, fans there have found ways to play the mobile game, ways around it, which has, of course, caused great concern among the nationalist groups and politicians. They have basically posited the threat. I'm going to quote because. The level of crazy in this quote I cannot really summarize it. It has to be experienced.
Russian accent.
It feels like basically they said it feels like the devil arrived through Pokemon and is trying to tear our morality apart from the inside. That was Franz Kintsevich, the member of Russia's upper chamber of parliament. We have a member of parliament. Making the argument that the devil has arrived through Pokemon to corrupt the outstanding Russian morality, which has been, in so full display with Vladimir Putin. So,
well, they're out there capturing the bears as opposed to riding them bare-chested.
Oh God.
I'm not going to say anything else.
They have ordered the state consumer rights watchdog Rospotrebnadzor. They have ordered.
They have a what now?
It's the state. It is the state-based consumer rights watchdog, and they're called Rospotrebnadzor.
I'm shocked that they have a consumer-based something or other. I'm shocked that they have this, but go ahead.
Rospotrebnadzor. That's there. There we go. They have been ordered to investigate the possible harmful psychological effects of Pokemon Go. Will they? I wonder if they will ever be ordered to examine the possible harmful psychological effects of living in a almost totalitarian state. Who knows? Anyways, Russia, you are fucking crazy.
And there we go.
Moving on.
Prey, one of the things that at least I talked about, coming out of E3. Recently, Arcane Studios' creative director, Rafael Colantonio, stated that really Prey is not a sequel, which we already knew. It's not a remake. It's a reimagining of the IP. Apparently, as fans of the series have been aware, Prey 2 was a sequel that was leaked back in 2011.
Man, it took a long time to come out.
I am tired, clearly.
In 20,000, when robots only play it.
And had, tons of delays before it was finally canceled in 2014. And this version was leaked in 2013, but it is not using any assets from the canceled sequel. You will be able to play as male or female. The character's name is Morgan, so it is intended to be ambiguously gendered.
Or Morgan Freeman.
You can play as Morgan Freeman, except that your last name is Yu.
Okay.
Yeah, the heavy symbolism in that one.
Yeah. This is okay. You know what? I'm sorry. I just had a flashback to M. Shyamalan's movie Lady in the Water, where the Lady in the Water's name is Story.
Mm. Yes. So,
It's that level of symbolism
if
there.
she were a fish, would she have a tail?
Oh, that's just bad. Bad. No. Oh, god damn. That
Anyways,
was just bad.
I won't say anything about it being all wet.
Just stop. Stop while you're ahead.
In the spirit of the game's main inspiration, which is System Shock 2, Prey is going to be a first-person shooter with role-playing elements and emphasis on narrative. You will, as Morgan, you're going to play a character that must survive a space station swarming with hostile aliens who wield strange powers. And it's going to be one of those consequence-based games where your decisions impact how the game goes forward. And you have the ability to either pick up weapons or strange scientific gadgets that have been laid around that have a strange application for combat. Because all strange scientific devices that you find in a space station have applications in combat.
Technically speaking, it's true. It's just not the way most people imagine. You could totally bludgeon a person to death with an electron microscope.
Yes, you could. Thank you for that. That is insightful. But you also have the ability to learn supernatural powers that you pick up from the aliens.
Because that's scientific.
Because that's scientific, and alien cross contamination, right on.
Because aliens are magic.
Aliens are they're magical girls. You're just taking
Magical
their wands.
girls. I want every single alien in that game to resemble Doug Henning.
Okay.
They'll just go.
On.
Let me train you. It's magic. Okay, so we're moving on to what now? DC.
DC.
Okay, so interesting news on DC. Jeff Johns has been promoted to, he was promoted in May to president of DC Entertainment. There have been some changes on the executive branch over there at Burbank, California. Hey, I have a brother-in-law who lives there, so maybe I'll visit. So Johns received that promotion along with his new title of co-head of DC Films, which we already reported on that earlier. And he also will continue his role as DCE's chief creative officer. He reports to Diane Nelson, who was the DCE's president since 2009. For a
second, I thought you called him the cheese creative officer, and I'm like what?
I am the cheese officer.
He makes the cheese.
Have some Geoff Johns Gouda. But he reports directly to Diane Nelson. So this is the first time, when I first read this, I went, wait a minute. So where did Diane Nelson go? No, this is the first time that DCE has now two precedents. It does, however, have precedent with Time Warner having two precedents. There have also other promotions and reorganizations along.
Two-president precedent? Is that what we're saying?
It's two precedent, and so we now have. Let me see. Let me look at the. Okay, here is the whole spiel with the reorganizations and titles. Amit Desai was promoted from senior vice president of marketing and global franchise development to executive VP of business and marketing strategy. John Cunningham was promoted from being VP of content strategy to senior VP of sales and trade marketing. Sam Andes, again from VP of digital marketing to senior VP of direct to consumer. Interesting, that one. Jim I can always screw up that name. Jim Sokolovsky segued from being VP of comic book specialty and newsstand sales to VP of comic book specialty and trade marketing. And A.D. Scannell segued from being a VP of mass accounts and digital sales to VP of consumer marketing. So a lot of people leveled up at DC apparently over the past few weeks. How do you
have a nosebleed from all that knowledge that just went through my head?
So how do you feel about Jeff Johns' presidency?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah. Do you think it's a good thing for DC, or are they rearranging the deck chairs of the Titanic? They have been doing well.
They've been doing fine.
Have been doing very well recently, and that's my assistant.
That's his husband.
My husband. They have been doing very well, and I think that DC, of course, noticed the very positive fan reaction to the rebirth, which we jokingly called the afterbirth. but then that has been widely recognized as a Johns-led initiative. So it might be that DC is finally noticing that Geoff Johns, for all of his excesses, and he's had some pretty bad ones of those in the past, does seem to have his finger on the pulse of what makes DC Comics DC Comics. So a lot of people are saying that he does indeed deserve this promotion.
All right, moving on.
Moving on.
So we talked about it, I think, last week. At least again, I talked about it. American Horror Story is coming up for season 6 on September 14th. There's still no real explanation as to what's coming up in season 6, but FX has released some eerie vids, as they are wont to do. Just as a sampling, we've got one that includes a millipede crawling down a pale woman's face, a girl running down the stairs with hands grabbing at her feet from beneath, a creepy shadowed family with glowing eyes approaching from the distance, a farmhouse with a smoking chimney, a demonic hand reaching up from a baby crib for a deadly baby mobile, and oh gosh, there was another one that a bald man getting staples in his head and a voice that basically says let it breathe this time or something like that. Yeah, it is creepy. There is speculation that it actually might be a continuation of the very first season, involving the baby Michael, I think it was. Who knows? Because Michael was pretty much the Antichrist from the end of that season. So it's entirely possible. We don't know. But if I have my say, I will be covering it when it comes out. So
we'll have a lot of fangasming videos.
I will have a lot of what the F was I watching videos. That may be, in fact, what I call it. What the F was that? Who knows?
That's okay. That was me watching Mike Myers' The Love Guru.
Yeah, I was everybody watching The Love Guru.
All right,
moving on
to Supergirl. We have had some pictures released from the season 2 set over in Vancouver, and we get to see Tyler Hoechling. How do you pronounce his name? Because I'm going to go for the German. Hoechlin? Okay, because I would go for the German pronunciation, which is Hoechling. But we get to see him in full costume as the Man of Steel, as a poorly shaven Man of Steel. However,
he looks like Derek Hale in the Superman suit. It just doesn't work. He needs to shave.
He does need to shave. But then again, if you're the Man of Steel, how can you actually shave?
They've already explained that. He uses laser vision in a mirror.
Yeah, but then doesn't that mean that every time he flies through fire, he should come out bald?
His laser vision is supposedly more powerful than fire.
He's flown into the sun.
The sun empowers him, so it should make his hair glistening.
Look at this healthy head of hair. Okay. So
we're not ones to talk. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it does. So we're talking about the costume, which looks good. I'm not quite sure I'm a fan of the shape of the belt. Compared to the Supergirl belt, kind of looks awkward since he no longer wears the trunks anymore. So having the belt in there as this line of red, I don't know, it breaks the flow for me. It could they could have done it like V-shaped or something like that. But overall, the costume looks good, and I have to say I have seen pictures of Hoechling without his cape, standing in profile for one of the shots, and oh my God, he has Dick Grayson ass. I am not kidding you. That shit is beautiful. Of course, most of you will not see it because he will be wearing a cape during the show. But yeah, so the season 2 of Supergirl is going to be pretty interesting.
There are billions of squealing fangirls and gay boys who watch Teen Wolf who are just going, ah!
Yeah, that's... the way I can describe him is he's very Calipagian. And look up that word. That will be your favorite word of the day.
We are here to educate you.
I'm going to educate you in proper fangasming vocabulary. Calipagian, someone who has beautiful buttocks. That is actually a word. Someone created a word just for that.
Just for that.
Just for that. Just like they created a word for imbobulation, which is to crap one's pants. That one's free for you guys.
Thank you for squeezing that one in on us.
So actually, a funny story. CC didn't believe that was a word because the only things she could find were references to the Urban Dictionary, and she said, "Well, the Urban Dictionary doesn't count." And I went, "Oh yeah." So I did my research and I produced a dictionary from 1626 that shows the word was a thing. So research chops.
There you go.
But in anyways, Huckling has said that he's looking for the fun of finding the humor of Clark Kent in the sense of humor in this world. So we'll see how things turn out because when Supergirl first came out, when the first season started, we were told that it was very, very unlikely that we would actually get to see Superman, and now we are.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Speaking of things in the superhero universe, The Flash. For those who have been sleeping under a rock, Flash Season 3 is coming up and will be a variation of the Flashpoint paradox that spawned New 52. So
That was also a Geoff Johns initiative, unfortunately.
yeah, anyways. So just they've released I'm not going to go into all the details, but they have released some spoilers for the season. Some of which have kind of been, shown online in the trailers and all that. But just for those who are interested, when season 3 begins, because Barry Allen went back in time to save his mother from being killed, when he returns to the present, he will find that he is actually no longer the Flash. He is no longer the fastest man alive. Fastest man alive is now Wally West. And Barry Allen has no powers and is living happily with his parents. And some memories are going to start getting exchanged in and out, and it's going to be a very interesting exploration of who is the villain here. So, I'm not going to go into all the details, but there you go. There's your setup for season 3 of Flash.
This could be so good, and this could be so bad. That's what I'm saying. I'm watching this with apprehension.
As long as they don't, launch an entire new universe. Well,
as long as they manage to get back to the old universe and don't New 52 the shit out of it, I'm happy.
Behold, the multiverse has collapsed. There's only 52 universes left. No. Next.
All right.
And just so everyone's aware, it's an X-Men Apocalypse related. That's why the graphic is there. So.
Wait, what?
Your topic is X-Men Apocalypse related,
yes.
Therefore that is why the graphic of X-Men Apocalypse is up.
I think you should have used the cover, but any case.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have made sense.
Okay, so over at San Diego Comic-Con, 20th Century Fox was using the cover of Bill... Oh, God, I hope I can get his name right. Bill Sienkiewicz. Is that it? Sienkiewicz?
I think it's Senkowicz, but...
Senkowicz. Okay, Bill S.
He's never been personally introduced to me, so I don't know. I'm just saying.
I know. I should have rung him and say, "Hey, Bill, how do you spell your last name?" And I go, "Who the fuck are you?"
I'm just going to go with the standard traditional American laziness rule, and I think you're putting too much emphasis on the pronunciation.
Well, it's a Polish last name. I like to try and at least be.
I understand that, but again, if he's American, we're going to go with the standard American laziness rule.
All right. So, in any case, 20th Century Fox was handing out the cover of his 1983's Dazzler number 29 as a promotional item meant to look like an Dazzler album cover, and this was given out at Comic-Con International San Diego. According to Sienkiewicz, neither Fox nor Marvel told him that they were going to be using the artwork in this way, and he is saying that this is a common courtesy thing. He does acknowledge that when you do work for hire, that the artwork belongs to the company for whom you worked. But it is, and I do think it is It is common courtesy. It should be common courtesy to credit the artist whose work you are using, and also because you paid him. The talent was of value to you, and so you really should honor that. You should honor the artist, and also promoting them and giving them credit gives other people reasons to hire them. And it's also common courtesy to tell them, we are going to be using this for this promotional material. Sankovic says it would have been nice to also receive some remuneration for it, but of course, it's not likely to happen. And Marvel and Fox are not. I mean, 20th Century Fox is not obligated to compensate him for it because the artwork was produced on commission. Um, but this has brought up the issue that of how often artists whose work is prominently featured in products such as games and comic books are very seldom given the credit they deserve, especially in a visual media like comics, which is 60-70% of the medium of the soul of the medium, because comics are visual storytelling. We rely on the artists.
For the record, I said we were going to be. It was going to be a quick episode, and clearly I've lied. Mouse and I like to talk a lot, so.
So Sienkiewicz did thank the people that he shared the booth with for not letting him fly on the wings of his anger, and allow him to take his anger out on the the movie studio's booth workers.
On the wings of rage.
You are the rage beneath my wings. And I can understand why he would be pissed, but I also like the fact that he acknowledged that doing that would not have been okay because the workers at the table would have had no fucking clue as to what was going on.
And it would have been powerless to do anything about it, quite honestly.
Pretty much, because that's the material they were given.
The reason he became aware of it, as I understand it, was because people actually were increasingly coming to him for signatures on this relatively brand new product that had his graphics on it.
And if you go and look up the cover is fucking gorgeous. I want that cover on a wall. I want that on my wall.
I gotta know, what's the word for having a nice Asler?
Nice Asler? Oh, Calipigian.
Same word.
Asler. You said Asler, you idiot. Let's call it. Let's call it Blinkipedian.
Okay. So there we go.
There we go.
Next up, Avengers: Infinity War. So apparently, it has been announced that what we were expecting as the quote fourth Avengers film, which was supposed to be Avengers: Infinity War Part 2, has now been titled Untitled Avengers. Because it won't be...
That should be the name.
Untitled Avengers? Avengers, the next generation. Because...
Captain America, I sense anger.
as Patrick Stewart once said to her, "Tell me something I don't know, you stupid cow." I have blooper reels.
You do?
I
want to see them.
I did. I don't have them anymore because they were videotaped.
Oh, you asshole. You should have totally transferred them.
I'm sorry. I threw it out 10 years ago.
Oh, God. You're horrible.
Get real. You could probably go to a Star Trek convention. I'm sure you can find it again.
I have never been to a Star Trek convention in my entire life.
I've been to 3, and you can be quiet now. So anyways, we were having a long discussion before the episode began because I was reading something about the Breen, and Mouse did not know what the Breen were. And then we had a comparison about who had more Star Trek viewing experience, and I win.
That's only because you're of the two of us, you're the only one who was actually around when the first series was on the TV.
In the 60s?
Mm-hmm.
I was born in 72.
Yeah, that's what you tell everyone. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Foomf is the only one of the three of us who was old enough to have seen that on TV.
I was just about to take you off of Sky. Anyways.
Banned!
So, Infinity War will be concluded primarily in the first movie, but it will carry over slightly into the Untitled Avengers movie. Infinity War itself will hit theaters May 4th, 2018. God knows if DC will follow suit and make one Justice League movie. Who knows? So, moving on to the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl.
Oh, I love this little tidbit. So, Shannon Purser, yes, Purser, has gained a lot of popularity with her performance as Barbara Holland in the Netflix series Stranger Things, of which I keep hearing so much good stuff about, but I just don't want to add another series to my life. I want to get through The Unbeatable Kimmy Schmidt first. But the actress tweeted that she wants Marvel to seriously consider her for the role of the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. And I'm saying yes. Why not? We need the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl in a Marvel movie.
Preferably Deadpool 3.
Preferably Deadpool 3, because that would be awesome.
All right, next up and last topic of the day.
Is it? I have the last topic?
Yes, because I said because I had posted American Horror Story twice.
Oh, that's right.
I said skip the second one.
Are you showing the doll?
No, I'm showing just the picture of Wonder Woman looking thoughtful into the sunset.
Oh gosh. Okay, so in the during the Comic Con International in San Diego, they had a little showcase for the upcoming Wonder Woman movie. They had a full panel, but they also made the debut of the first full trailer, which we covered last week, and also the unveiling of Mattel's Wonder Woman themed Barbie.
Not to be confused with Bombshell.
Bombshell. No. This one does not have Joker crack face. This actually is a gorgeous, beautiful doll. If you look at it, it's worth it. It costs $80 and it's worth every single buck of it. It's just beautiful. Look at that shit. So yeah, I want it. My birthday is technically coming up in 8 months. So. If I set aside $10 each month, I will be able to buy this for me. So yes, it has a very intricate golden shield that resembles the one in the movie, and I think you can see some of the Greek writing on it, or is that just texture? I don't see it. There's also the very fancy looking sword. The armor, the bustier, is actually bright red and blue, so it's actually has
like
color.
It's been bathed in blood of the enemies for years.
Yeah, well, I didn't pick on that topic last week because, long story short, apparently the costume designers were talking about Wonder Woman's bustier for the movie, and at one point they mentioned it's bright red. It's like the blood of her enemies congealed. And first of all, I went, honey, that's not how blood looks when it congeals or it dries up. But the other one is, the whole blood of her victims thing. It's like, no, Wonder Woman doesn't have victims. But these are costume designers. So this was not an official line from the producer or the director or the actor. So I let it pass. But yeah, blood.
And my whole comment on that is like, really? She's wearing the same shit she wore that long ago and hasn't washed it? Ew.
Yeah, proper battle etiquette requires for you to wash your bustier off the blood of your victims. It's like Amazon 101. Oh my god. You don't want that shit clinging to your metal. It'll do bad things to it.
Or
Every Amazon. Or the leather. Well, the leather is blue, so it's clearly not blood stained. So apparently Wonder Woman killed people with her breasts.
She smothered them with her stomach.
She smothered them with her stomach. It's a well-known Amazon tradition.
I'm just going, here, die!
Die! It's called the eagle thrust.
I always refer to Zeta's attack as the die happy attack, so...
So in any case, the doll looks gorgeous. It costs $80. I hope it doesn't go away before I can buy it. And if any of our fans, all three of you out there, want to buy it for me, I will be eternally grateful, and I will show up at your house and I will serenade you at your wedding. I will be there.
Assuming A, you get married, not already married, you have a house, and then it costs less to get to your house than it does for the doll.
Okay, how's this? If you live outside of Colorado, I will record a CD just for you.
And there we go.
And there we go. So in any case, that's the topics for the week. Hopefully Cece will join us. Cece has moved back to her home state, so she is... during the week when we were discussing the topics, she was on the road with her parents and going insane, as anyone would when going on the road with their parents. so we didn't have time to powwow with her, and she might not join us for a couple more episodes because she's straightening things out, getting her life together over there. We will see, but we are looking into getting some co-hosts we can rotate with. But hopefully we
We
will
can
see CC
swing.
next week.
We can
What?
swing with
We
co-hosts.
can- we're looking for swinging co-hosts, baby. So if you
It was one of those weird moments where Mouse is like, "Oh no, Cece is still traveling. Should we get food for him?"
and Pumph was like, I got church stuff in the morning. No.
Well, I basically said this, that I'm tired of canceling the show, and since I'm the one who does the actual recording, unless I'm dying on the couch on Sunday morning, the show's happening. I don't care who's here. If I have to run this by myself, I will.
You can, like
It'll be a really short episode, but it'll happen.
one episode where maybe I am sick. It'll be just Drew with a sock puppet dressed as me.
Mouse, I'm Mouse. Hi.
The amusing thing will be having you try to sing as me.
No, I won't do that. I'll just find something and a little
All right.
Botticelli or something in there. Whatever.
What? A what?
A little Botticelli or something in there.
He was a painter.
Okay, well then I'll have a painting up.
And don't you dare, do not dare compare me to Andrea Bocelli. I will kill you.
I don't even know
I
what
will
that is.
destroy you.
Is that a
I will
pasta?
wreck you.
Is that a pasta? I have no idea what that is. So yeah, tune in next week for sock puppets because peace out, everybody.
Everybody.